Hi, my name's Lucy Laucht. I'm a travel, fashion and lifestyle photographer and Leica ambassador. My hope is that my photographs are transportive and that capture the soul and spirit of a place and the people who live within it. I'm in Cornwall photographing a personal project of mine, which is to walk the Southwest Coast Path and photograph the people and places that I encounter along the way. My late father kept a really impressive diary when he did his walk, and in this book he recorded all of his trails, the times it took and the dates he did it. So I'm retracing those steps. I primarily use the Leica M10-R, and over the past year I've transitioned to shooting a lot more of my commercial work with the camera. So the 40 megapixel sensor on the new M10-R is a complete game changer for me, especially with my travel and landscape work. 35mm summer lux. It's a versatile lens, it doesn't distort, it's great for portrait, it's great for landscape, it just covers off a whole range of scenarios. I feel like if I've got the 35 on my camera, I just know that I'm gonna be in good shape for any scene that pops up. I'm not gonna have to change my lens. It's just kind of a really good go-to for me. It's my desert island lens. I got the opportunity to shoot Elle at Foul River Distillery in her beautiful space, and luckily a lot of it was filled with natural light, but there was a couple of darker areas. So what was really nice was that I was able to take the camera to a pretty high ISO and still get like a beautiful crisp image out of that, even handheld, you know, so really pleased with how those images came out. We shot some scenes which were a little challenging to get into, so I was shooting like an overhead scene of her pouring the rum. And because this camera is so light, and I'm also like quite small person, just being able to get above and like hold the camera and shoot down and look at the back of screen, because this camera has a beautiful display on it, which is super sharp and clear. I was able to kind of work off the back of the camera and get those shots that I needed. One of my favorite days so far of shooting down here has been going out with Will on the boat, and we went out at sunrise. You know, the sun was coming up, so sometimes the way the boat moves, sometimes I was shooting into the sun and sometimes away from the sun. And what I love is the dynamic range of the M10-R and just being able to keep the detail in the highlights. And then just like the richness of the colors that this camera reproduces. Like it really looks like what you're seeing through your eyes, if that makes sense. Yeah, it does kind of make sense. And, and you know, I love that this camera is so small. That's the thing. It's like you can take it into any situation and get what you need without having to carry a big heavy camera around. And yet it's still so powerful. Yeah, so final day of the shoot, we meet the chef, Simon Stallard, and he offers to cook up the catch from earlier in the morning. So we put together a little campfire on the beach, and it's gorgeous. The light is really firing, and the campfire's going, the light's flickering on everybody's faces. It's just like my dream scene, and this camera really comes into its own. That high ISO range, just low light capabilities, and the crispness and detail of the shots. Yeah, it was a pretty perfect night.